Aaron Dykes here for TRUTHstreammedia. Cheerios has announced it's going to drop its GMO ingredients. No more genetically modified Cheerios. Melissa Melton wrote about it a couple days ago right here and made this lovely parody graphic. Here's the announcement from the official article. General Mills has officially announced the company will no longer add sugar-derived GMO sugar beets to its original Cheerios cereal. While the oats used to make Cheerios have never contained genetically modified organisms, the company did make changes to its sourcing, and now, for example, only uses non-GMO pure cane sugar instead of beet sugar, says the spokesman. The change was made quietly many weeks ago, and they declined to be more specific on the timing, and they, of course, do listen to the suggestions of their many fans through email. Well, that's interesting that they're so quiet about it. Who would even know that Cheerios uses genetically modified beet sugar? Well, you certainly wouldn't know if you went to the official website and checked the ingredients. You would only see sugar. So keep in mind that all these big food companies, no matter how wonderful their brand name is, no matter what a wholesome and healthy heart image they may project, sometimes, maybe quite often, they're using hidden genetically modified ingredients. Obviously, another reason that we need labeling. But Cheerios is only dropping the genetically modified ingredients from its mainline Cheerios cereal. Cheerios has at least a dozen brands. You can see some of them here. All those will still be keeping any of the genetically modified ingredients, at least for the time being, and they remain unlabeled if indeed they're in there. We don't know for sure. We would have to dig into it, because you're just going to see things like sugar or modified cornstarch, different hidden corn ingredients. Do those come from genetically modified corn? Does the sugar come from cane sugar, or does it come from genetically modified beet sugar? Well, who knows for sure. It's certainly not clearly labeled. But at the same time, think about all those different cereal brands, how they will remain genetically modified even though the main brand will change. Well, General Mills Cheerios will get an image makeover. The public will think of them as being free from GMOs, practically organic, while many of their other products remain full of GMOs. Not only the Cheerios, but the hundreds and hundreds of other food products that not only this company, but all the big food companies put on the shelves for your children, for your family, for everyone in this country, that so many people eat, that are laced with ingredients that are under-tested, largely unlabeled, and whose health effects have been called into question for very good reasons. And that's just the genetically modified ingredients. There's dozens of other artificial flavors, additives, corn derivatives, emulsifiers, MSG, preservatives, color dyes, really questionable stuff, and a lot of these foods, stuff that people really shouldn't be eating, that some of it's on the label, some of it's not. A lot of it you probably need to educate yourself before you can even recognize it on the label and understand what you're eating. Just another example of this is Kraft agreeing to take the yellow dyes out of mac and cheese. This happened towards the end of last year in 2013, and they finally agreed after one woman, Vani Hari, out of Food Babe, who we've worked with a little bit before, she started a petition and got her listeners to really just drive it home with Kraft that they didn't need to put artificial dyes linked to hyperactivity and to cancer, but particularly hyperactivity in children, that they didn't need to put those artificial dyes in there since they already had a recipe in Europe without the artificial dyes. And so obviously it was only for cosmetic purposes. They reluctantly agreed to take it out of 3 varieties of children-oriented mac and cheese that had cartoon characters on the front. Meanwhile, the yellow 5 and any other genetically modified ingredients remain in the rest of their products and in the hundreds of other products that food company makes. And it's just an example of how it is good to be a consumer advocate, to push for change, to ask for better ingredients, and to demand that they take out genetically modified and unnecessary artificial ingredients. But in many cases, these companies want that cosmetic image lift. They want to look better with the public. And we don't need to celebrate and cheer them on and say, what a victory, things are finally getting better. we need to double down and stay on them and demand that more foods remove junk ingredients that are completely unhealthy for this country, for this world, so we can start to eat better. And in general, you should probably just avoid as many processed food ingredients as possible.